What's up, everybody? It's your brother from another, Brother Maze, one half of the Locked and Loaded Show, the podcast that's shaking up your social airwaves. From the streets to the mic, I'm teaming up with my co-host, the multi-talented Jayce Janae. Together, we're bringing you real talk for real people. Now, this week's episode features the family man himself, artist, producer, MOOSE29K. And special guest also coming in the house to chop it up with me is the founder of Unity on Division, Minister Steve Williams, as we talk about mending relationships. Tune in Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 8 p.m. to catch the newest and hottest episodes on the L&L YouTube channel, The Locked and Loaded Show. Now, we're in proud partnerships with the Community Partnerships of the Ozarks, where we are focused on reducing gun violence and uplifting our neighborhoods through real conversations and community-driven solutions. Until the show, stay locked and stay loaded. Meet you there.
I'm just gonna say this shit right now. I feel like forever's a lie. This was forever, but you stuck on your waist. I was trying to make us better, now I'm counting up checks. Gave you all of my effort, girl, I gave you my best. Now I'm done with the stress, putting love to the test. You was hard in the past, I'm just chasing what's next. I was down bad, now I'm up, no regrets. You was lying, confess, had me thinking I'm blessed. Now I'm all iced out, blessing got it off my chest. You was talking that I love you, but your actions was fake. Late nights with your phone turn had me wide awake. You was gripping, now I'm dipping, tryna flip my face. Turn my heart into hustle, now I'm stacking this case. I was down for the ride, you was switching the lanes. Play me close for a moment, now you speak on my name. But I ain't tripping, I'm different, now I'm numb to the pain. You can keep all the memories, I'm good in the rain. Thought this was forever, but you stuck on your waist. I was trying to make us better, now I'm counting up checks. Gave you all of my effort, girl, I gave you my best. Now I'm done with the stress, putting love to the test. You was caught in the past, I'm just chasing what's next. I was down bad, now I'm up, no regrets. You was lying, confess, had me thinking I'm blessed. Now I'm all iced out, flexing got it off my chest. Had me running in circles, no finish line. Now I'm running up digits, now that paper mine.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your brother from another, Brother Maze, back in the house once again. Now, we took a little bit of time off just so we could get some things together, but we got the one and only special guest in the house. Y'all know him as the barbecue man. I know him as my god brother from another mother, Steve Williams in the house. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's up, Marlon? It's
Hey.
good to be here, man.
I know that's right, man. I know that's right. Hey, listen, y'all heard a little bit of music in the break. You know how we do. We're going to flow so nicely throughout the show. We got a special guest in the second hour that I think you really, really going to like. Mr. Was it MOOSE29K is in the house. Yeah, so we got him coming up as well. But tonight we're talking about some beautiful things about mending relationships. And I know my brother across from me right now is all about that. I know y'all know him for the barbecue, Crosstown, just celebrating 50 years.
Yeah.
50 years in the business, man.
Actually, 55.
Was it 55? Man, look, I done subtracted the 5. Is it really 55?
55.
Wow, that's
1970, man.
1970. All right,
Yeah.
now that's going back a little bit.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, right before I was born. And we can, and you know, we're gonna talk about it because you know his dad and my grandfather, man, they was the best of the best.
Yeah.
And we can throw a story in there too. But hey, y'all, I just want y'all to stay tuned with us because not only we bringing you good music, we bring you good content, but I want you to think about that one relationship that you've been waiting to get back to, and especially whether it was just you personally or whether it was just you, your family, or even the community itself. Because we're gonna be talking about it. We're gonna be talking about unity on division.
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all, I'm your brother from another. You got the one and only Jayce, my other half over there.
We here, we in the building.
Yes, we are. And our special guest right now is Steve Williams. Join us back here on, what is this? It's our fifth show.
I believe so.
It's our fifth show. I'm going to
Yes,
say
it
fifth.
is.
You know, fifth flow. It's our fifth show up here in the L&L studios. And so, hey, come back and join us. We out.
mic is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was broke, sleeping cold, trying to fight off the rain. Every night another test, every day was the same. Mama called me on the phone, said don't lose who you are. I was drowning in the liquor, trying to cover my scars. Lost friends to the streets, lost love to the lies. I was praying on my knees, reach for the skies. Daddy told me stand tall, never fold a bend. But I was fighting with my demons, pain never ends. Had a pistol in my lap, dream in my head. Trying to choose a better life or end up like them instead. Now I'm planting all these verses like I'm sowing a seed. How you mad you ain't me? We just let that shit be. All this pain on my shoulders, but I'm still standing tall. Lost some people on the way, I can't blame them at all. Told my daughter when I make it, she gon' see what I mean. Daddy fought through the fire just to chase every dream. Heart heavy, but my pocket's getting closer. Took some losses, learned the lessons, now I'm breaking the rules. From the mud to the stage, I ain't come here to play. Even with my broken heart, I'ma shine anyway. Used to cry in the dark, nobody knew what I felt. Had to learn the hard way, I can only save myself. Not a fan, see my pain, to my losses the wins. Every song another letter to the places I've been. Baby mama try to hate me, but I still did my part. Cause my daughter need a father, not a man with no heart. I had my back to the wall, but I refuse just to break. Now I'm stronger than the weight of every choice that I make. All this pain on my shoulders, but I'm still standing tall. Lost some people on the way, I can't blame them at all. Told my daughter when I make it, she gon' see what I mean. Daddy fought through the fire just to chase every dream. All this pain on my shoulders, but I'm still standing tall. Lost some people on the way, I can't blame them at all. Told my daughter when I make it, she gon' see what I mean. Daddy fought through the fire just to chase every dream.
Hey, y'all. I told y'all this is the show. This our fifth show, y'all. We coming back. It's so nice. And I know you was bumping and grinding. I ain't gonna say bumping and grinding, but more or less bumping in that break because we were actually enjoying ourselves with that music, man. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that young man, a little bit later and everything. Mr. MOOSE29K is his name. But right now, our special guest in the house is my brother. I think we share the cloth together for sure.
Yes, sir.
He's a minister. He has been doing ministry, 40 years? Is that about right?
No.
A little less than
since
that?
2005.
2005, excuse me. I'm putting some age on it.
You trying to get me old.
You know, it's all good. He's been doing ministry.
I started a little later.
You started a little later. It's all good, man. I'm celebrating 10 years, man, myself, to be exactly, behind the pulpit. But at the same time, it's actually 30 years altogether because my 20 years in music, God bless me. But at the end of the day, my brother Steve, what's going on, man?
Man, it's all good. Everything's going on, man.
Hey, you ain't got he didn't bring no ribs. He didn't bring nothing. He didn't bring us my hot links. I love his hot links.
A plate.
I know, across town. Next time.
Yeah, that's what's going on. The ministry's going on. And barbecue's going on. And all kind of things are really going on,
That's what's up, man. We come around this time of the year, man, and I think it's embedded in this community where people start hearing that word unity.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that when we start hearing the fall time, they be like, unity, what? Oh, unity on division.
Yeah.
Man, we talking to the creator.
Yeah.
I want you to touch on that because, man, you got an event coming up here October 4th. If y'all don't know, actually, I'm gonna let you introduce that. What's going on October 4th?
Hey, I tell you what, as we know, the creator is God himself.
Yes.
And it came from the creator.
Okay.
It's all about, it all started when in 2004, man, March the 14th, 2004, the day I came to Christ, man.
Wow.
And then about that, within that week, I started having dreams. God came to me in a dream, and he told me that he wanted me to have a couple of missions assignments that he wanted me to do. And one was Crossway Ministry, which was a inner city youth ministry here in Springfield. We did that for 10 years, man.
10 years prior to this vision, or was it?
No, I mean, we did it 10 years actually, it started 5 years after the division.
After
And
division,
it's just
okay.
amazing how God can give you something, and and it's funny as the story is about. When he gave me these two things, Unity on Division and Crossway Ministry, I'm thinking like, man, all right, I think I could do all that and this and that. And of course,
As if you wasn't already too busy as it is, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I started going out, knocking on doors and going out, because I've always dealt with youth, you know that.
Right, of
I
course.
coached kids mentoring programs since 1985.
There
man.
you go.
And
There you
all
go.
the basketball teams, first guy to take people out out of town.
I want to put a
basketball.
point right there real quick. Let me tell you why.
Right.
Because when you said in 85, and I remember I was like a freshman in high school. Oh, no, I was 8th grade, something like that. And I remember they used to say, man, you got to play some basketball outside of basketball, which means, you play outside the season. So I'm trying out for some AAU teams and stuff. And y'all played this AAU team, this team you coached. Y'all played my team at the time, and I was like sitting on the bench, and I looked across there, and I'm like, oh, that's a good team. Why are those players better than us? And they was like, well, Steve's coaching, and then there was somebody else coaching at the time. You had a lot of people in the area, but what I thought was so unique, man, and every kid that I have come across that has worked with you is they said they feel the love.
Well, yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? They really feel the love.
Well, it was genuine, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I've always been the kind of person want to give back to my community
Right.
and everything. And it's funny how I approached it. I got approached, with at the time my wife, my son Aaron was playing on a team, and they were like, we need a new coach, and would you like to coach? And I'm like, I played basketball, of course.
Yeah, you might want to tell people you came down. You played with, was it Jerry?
Yeah, I played about a good couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks over at Jerry.
Yeah, a couple of weeks. I ended up walking on the team, but then my dad got sick with cancer, so I had to retract from that and help him in the business while I was going to school. But it was all about that, and I got a group of guys, that were, they were pretty good players and stuff, and it's a different time now. You know what
Of
I'm
course,
saying?
it's different.
Like the kids are a little but hey, those kids worked, man, and we practiced. And I wouldn't brag about saying I'm a great coach, but I was a good coach. I know how to motivate kids. I know how
that part right there.
I knew how to break it down to them till they can understand. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
And so I coached and mentored them and everything. And now they're they're like 47 years old now.
They kind of older.
Yeah, that first group they're growing. Matter of fact, it's a couple of them that's doing the same thing that I did.
And that's that part too, because when you really think about what community is all about, it's actually working within.
Yeah.
You're working from within, and I love the fact to hear stories, especially when people are saying, hey, I grew up here, I did this here, and now I'm back doing this here. And that's kind of your thing. I know you came from Kansas City, came on down and everything, but what did that feel like to you, knowing that you had so much going on, or you had so much involvement with these kids?
Well, man, a lot of kids, even then, at that time, some of them came from single parent homes, and fathers wasn't in their homes and everything, which I think is one of the biggest problems in our community right now, as far as the kids is concerned. What I mean? And so I was kind of like a uncle, a big brother. I was a dad.
Yeah.
I'd pick them up from practice and take them to practice and take them to games and whatever I had to do, to make sure that those kids could be a part of something, And then, then I had to teach them how to work together.
Right.
And that's kind of like, I think, with the unity thing, it's kind of like you hear that phrase, teamwork makes the dream work.
That part
there.
The
point is, it's like, I got them together to the point where they could play, as a team, man, and everybody had a role.
Everybody had a role.
Everybody had a role, and some people are different or stronger in other areas. You know what I mean? And so you had to be able to put them in the position to be successful.
The funny thing is I know that right now you got a strong committee that meets on Mondays.
Yeah,
and I've been part of that. obviously when I'm not coaching a football game
Yes.
and stuff. But at the end of the day, one thing that I've learned is that, and this has been a first for me, to sit around individuals from different community churches within, I say, the radius of the inner city of Springfield, and some that on the outside, but to sit down and talk about in empowerment. You know, that was something that really got me, thinking like, this could be bigger. And I know you did this on a bigger stage once before, and I know there was a lot going on before COVID. Kind of talk about the start of the Unity on Division and the vision itself, because I know you talked about God gave you 2 visions, but talk about what it was like getting that together.
Well, the vision of unity, it was amazing. It was kind of like, there's a lot of people that get together for special interests, you know what I'm saying? And it goes all the way from politics to being a Republican or a Democrat or the National Rifle Association or just any other organization. They kind of get together for a common goal, that is. And the thing about it is, with me, I was like, why is it the people of God can't get together and be able to be on a common denominator, which is Jesus Christ, to be able to just love each other, because I think, if it all boils down to society itself, the main line is, the fact is, we just dealing with good and bad, what I mean?
Right.
And if this God is good, and we know we have bad things, spirits, as things that too, which is Satan. So the point is, it's a matter of just being able to allow ourselves to overcome I would say, the sinful nature or the natural man, Now you got me preaching.
Man, I call this the open court, bro.
Yeah. So and the Bible tells us we're all born into sin and shaped in our iniquity.
Wow.
So every man, woman, and child born of a woman and man is born with a sinful nature.
Yeah.
And we're shaped by our culture. We're shaped by what's going on around you. We're shaped by who raises us, who doesn't raise us. We're shaped by our culture, which is around us every day. I was taught, hey, you got to get a good job, and you got to go to school and do all these things of the culture, you know what I mean, that's going on or whatever. But my parents did introduce me to God. But, as a young man, you're like, okay, we went to church every day and all these things. But I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
And it's kind of, imagine that, that's kind of how, like, human nature really is. We really want to do what we're going to do. But then when you meet Christ, it's like, hey, it ain't about what you want to do. It's about what God wants to do with you for his kingdom. And I think that's the battle that each man, woman, and child deals with every day. The fact is that, are we going to do what God wants us to do, or are we going to do what we've been wanting, what we've done all of our lives before we met Christ?
Yeah. You bring up a good point in regards to, we're individuals in a lot of ways. I'll just be honest, but we're connected in other ways. And it's something I want to talk about when we come back off the break here, is I want to talk about how you made that initial connection. Because when you started this, I believe it was Nichols Park when you first started, right? Or was
it was on Smith Park.
It was Smith Park. Okay, Smith Park
was the first one, which was on Division Street.
On Division Street.
I mean, this thing is much deeper than just the event itself.
And I'm glad you said that, because that segues into what the next question I want to jump onto. But before we do that, y'all, let's do some favor. We got a great partnership with Community Partnership of the Ozarks, and hey, y'all, if I don't mention them, I'm feeling like I'm just leaving out, the one and only. Obviously, we have been present here because of them. And at the end of the day, y'all, when you hear shows like this and opportunities of being able to come out of the community and talk about what's going good in the community and not necessarily what's going bad in the community, this is the type of show for it. We are here on Lock and Loaded, y'all. If y'all don't already know, this is our 5th week. I am your co-host, one half of the dynamic duo. Of course, we got Miss Jayce over here, bring you all the beautiful music and all that. So we're going to come back here and we're going to go a little bit deeper and talk about, just how far back and how deep this Unity on Division really goes. When we get back from the break, y'all, just be ready, because we're about to hit the meat. Marcia Patrice, the voice, the sound, the ambiance of divine greatness, is finally here with her new single, Never Will I, available now on all platforms.
I used to crawl in my sorrows. I used to drown in my tears.
Andre, light 'em up.
Met you in my past, had me doubting myself, trying to numb all the pain. I was drowning myself, but you pulled me from the bottom, put belief in my soul, show me love and control. It's a place I can grow. Every night we just chill on our phones, side by side. Ain't no pressure to pretend, girl, I'm free in my mind. Even when my trauma surfaced, you ain't run from the weight. You just told me it's okay, and that moment was fake. Girl, you chose me, I ain't taking that for granted. I was broken, you the one that understand it. All my scars, you just love me through the damage. Now my heart's safe, I don't gotta panic. Girl, you chose me, I ain't taking that for granted. I was broken, you the one that understand it. All my scars, you just love me through the damage. Now my heart's safe, I don't gotta panic. I remember nights alone when I prayed for a change. Now it's laughter in the car when we riding through rain. You a mother, you a woman, got a heart full of gold. When I tell you that I love you, know it's truth I had told. Ain't no fights turning cold, just a vibe we maintain. Even when we disagree, it don't feel like pain. Girl, I thank God daily, he aligned it this way. Put my broken heart in hands that would never betray. Girl, you chose me, I ain't taking that for granted. I was broken, you the one that understand it. All my scars, you just love me through the damage. Now my heart's safe, I don't gotta panic. Girl, you chose me, I ain't taking that for granted. I was broken, you the one that understand it. All my scars, you just love me through the damage. Now my heart's safe, I don't gotta panic. I was numb, I was lost, I was searching for peace. He showed me through the small things, love can be deep. Not forever, don't feel heavy, it feel like it's meant. Girl, I'm thankful every second for the time we spent. You chose me, I ain't taking that for granted. I was broken, you the one that understand it. All my scars, you just love me through the damage. Now my heart's safe, I don't gotta panic. Girl, you chose me, I ain't taking that for granted. I was broken, you the one that understand it. All my scars, you just love me through the damage. Now my heart's safe, I don't gotta panic.
Hey, everybody. You know, we back here on the Lock and Loaded show. This is the show. It is what it is. We are the new dynamic duo between my sister Jayce over here and, of course, myself, Brother Mays. Yes, please talk, because people be asking me,
I know.
did you put a mute on her? Because, you know, when she sings and does her stuff.
We be having such great conversations. I'm locked in. I'm listening.
That's true. I appreciate that. But hey, y'all, we're sitting here with our special guest and one and only Mr. Steve Williams. I know a lot of y'all know him as the owner and of Crosstown Barbecues. Celebrated 55 years here recently in regards to his existence through his father and everything. And, you know, it's so funny because when I think about the first time I was in Crosstown Barbecue, it was many, many years ago. My grandfather used to, like, pick me up from, like, practices and stuff. Just real talk. And he would always drop me off, or we'd stop by Crosstown Barbecue. Well, obviously, after a while, I realized that one of the reasons was because, you know, his best friend was Mr. Steve Williams' father, Mr. Jess. Yes. And, man, they have, oh, my God, stories after stories after stories. But my grandfather would take me in there because he knew I loved those hot links. Mm-hmm. And I would eat a hot link sandwich every single time I've been. I can honestly count on both my hands how many times I have had something other than hot links in all these years.
Right.
So that just let y'all know, what my plate is. Matter of fact, you need to go and put my name up there and call them my hot link. Marlon's hot links. It's all
You
good.
might have to do that.
Man, you're going to have to, man, because I think I probably have done the most investing in those hot links, But it's all good on top of them ham sandwiches because my mama loves them ham sandwiches.
Right.
Hey, but with that being said, man, we were talking off air a little bit about, the expectations of the Unity on Division. And for those that don't know, Unity on Division is celebrating its 10th year of existence in Springfield as far as from the start to here to where we are now. And the founder of this event is when I think of Steve and I think of the hard work that he has put into this community, this event exemplifies his love. And so I have to ask this question, my brother. When you think about all that you've been able to do and involving the churches, involving the youth, and involving different individuals, especially law enforcement, what are your expectations on this 10th year?
Well, I tell you, my expectation is it's the same every year. My expectation is for allow the Holy Spirit to move, man. Because that's what it's really all about. The church was started by the Holy Spirit itself on the day of Pentecost, man. And that's what the church is, man. And so I'm just expecting the Holy Spirit to move on the people's hearts, and not just for that day, man. We do an event every year, but the people and the relationships that we form during the time of planning, or just people that have talked to me throughout the year, that they, we just want to be able to allow the people to realize that, we can do better.
Yeah.
We can do better as a people. We can do better as a community. And the only reason to think, politics and legislation can change laws or whatever, but that does not change people's mindset, and that doesn't change people's hearts, man. Because the real issue is that we have a heart issue.
Right.
We got a heart problem. You know what I mean? Because when you got a heart problem, it's you don't forgive. When you got a heart problem, you don't love. It's easy to be able to be upset and angry. And right now in our country, I see our country, a lot of people are just angry.
Yeah.
And a lot of things, a lot of division going on.
So divided.
And so it's for this event, just the whole purpose of the event is that, hey, man, many people told me when they came to the events in the past, they said, man, the spirit in this event is awesome. And, this is what heaven's going to look like.
Ooh.
And then you know what? It's the truth, man, because when you come to the event, you're going to see people, all different people, just loving on each other and working together for the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And this is what Unity on Division is. This is unity to be able to wreck division. You know what I'm saying?
I love everything about what you just said. And at the same time, I have to be so honest when I say this. We are so divided right now in this country, in this world, and just some of the recent activities. I mean, I don't push harm or shame or violence on anybody, but we recently just had a government, or I don't know if he's a government official, but he was more or less,
No.
He was just,
Charlie
Kirk.
Yeah.
He ran the turning point. Is that what they call it? The turning point?
Yeah, he was a company owner. He was like not an official politician or anything.
It's not an official politician. But he has so many people following him that to believe in a particular way of how this country should be ran. And with that being said, and I was actually having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. He says, what are we doing to bring people together more? Like we see these rallies, we see these different situations, but what are we doing? And I immediately, I'm saying, well, we got an event coming up here October 4th called Unity on Division. And it makes me think about how you bring the law enforcement into it and kind of touch on that, because law enforcement right now, believe it or not, yes, they're working together to help find these shooters and people who are doing what they're doing, but there's a lot of division in that in law enforcement too. And I'm just saying, being honest.
Well, how that came about when we had our first event, we were planning our first event in 2014. The Spirit of God once again just told me, we need to let our law enforcement people know that that we appreciate them and that we love them and that we need to be praying for our city officials. We need to be praying for our politicians. We need to be praying for our law enforcement so they can get home safely to their, to their families. And it's funny because God always goes before us in everything. There's always a real issue that's going on that causes division just before our event kind of goes off. Every year, it's always something. And that first year, that's when Ferguson kicked off.
I remember.
And Ferguson kicked off, and then everybody was like, they don't like the law enforcement and this and this and this, and law enforcement kind of got a bad rap on a lot of situations. They were kind of like the enemy at that time, but God knew that, hey, what we's gonna do to be able to find some healing for our law enforcement people here in Springfield, that maybe something like that happened there would not happen here in Springfield. And I'm gonna tell you, when we did that, there was like a photo of me hugging Chief Williams that, man, went viral.
I remember.
And it just kind of like, and from that day on, the law enforcement here in the city has always appreciated us inviting them. They appreciate our prayers for them and everything, and that they appreciate their recognition. We'll be giving them a certificate of recognition for the service, and of course, be praying over them. We're also going to be doing a foot washing ceremony, which is kind of designed for.
I remember the year that I was involved. You allowed me to preach a word, a snippet, as we call it, and one of the speakers that day, he walked up to me afterwards and he said, "You getting your feet washed?" I was sitting there like, well, I don't let too many people touch my feet. I'll just be real. But beyond that thought of it, what really got me and it made me really change my mind about a lot of things is the willingness. There were so many people willing to do something they never did before.
Is this like literally washing feet?
Literally washing your feet, and it's very biblical.
Yes,
kind
it
of
is.
talk about that.
And it is biblical because, and the thing about it is, a lot of people have talked about, leaders, pastors, and things of this sort. Sometimes they may feel pastors are kind of like more dictators and things of this sort, or just want to be in control of things. But by this, as in the scriptures, Jesus wanted to wash his feet of his disciples. Well, what that exemplifies is a servant leader. See, that's exactly what we need to be as leaders, as pastors, and as ministers and reverends that are leading God's people, that we're not here to dictate the people. We're not here to control the people. We're here to serve the people. And so, and the whole idea too for that is to let the world know and let people know that pastors can humble themselves enough to be able to wash other pastors' feet.
And to me, that is where I saw where we had hope, because for so long I felt like some of our pastoral leadership has been so divided on so many different situations. And for me, I've never wanted to see that, but I felt it. I kept feeling it. But that event gave me hope, because I was like, wow, I just met this one pastor maybe 15, 20 minutes prior to the event. And here it is with a pastor I've known for more than 20 or 30 years. And next thing you know, they're meeting on a stage, washing each other's feet. And they don't even know each other.
Powerful.
It's a powerful statement within itself. Here's a question I've always wanted to ask you, because I feel like from your involvement, the way that you empower these young kids, and understand where I'm going with this, because our show is stemmed off of gun violence reduction. And I know you've had opportunities to mentor youth in many years. In regards to this, are we doing something different than we've done before to connect to these kids in a way that we're helping them understand the importance of gun rights and gun laws? Does that make sense?
Well,
because
people,
there's something in there we're missing in that when we're talking to them, because the reason I say this, we have some kids who earlier who was in the building, and they were getting questioned about gun violence reduction. And one of the things that I heard, and it really blew my mind, is that we're being taught to be violent. And it seems like it's a good thing. And then what they couldn't understand is why people were celebrating it. Does that make sense?
Well, my take on the whole thing,
please.
is, man, you know, it starts at home, man.
Oh, God,
And
yes.
so, when you have the breakdown of the family, see, this is the thing. It's always been a tool of Satan to break the family down.
Yeah.
Even since the 3rd chapter of Genesis.
Come on now, you
Come
talking.
on now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
come on.
He came in there and he broke the family down,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And that's what Satan does. Because if he knows that he can get the head of the family, then he gonna destroy the rest of the family, because if the head's not in place, and not only if the head's not in place, if the head's not in place and being followed the direction of God himself, or being able to do moral things, you know what I'm saying? Then, that's just where our society is to this day.
So as pastors and ministers as we are, and when we have the opportunity, should we be talking more about gun violence and reduction? Like for instance, just in general of this, should we talk about how it's used, when it should be used? Because to me, the church is still an educational institution.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
you understand what I'm saying?
We need to be talking about God. We need to be talking about Jesus, because
I agree.
because this is the deal, Marlon. We've always had guns, man.
Mm-hmm.
Guns have been in existence in this world for a very, very long time.
Right,
Before they were going, there were swords, okay?
Yeah,
there was spears and there was knives and all of these things, right? And it's not necessarily about the gun itself. It's not necessarily about the knife itself.
Yeah.
It's about the spirit behind the gun, brother. And the
yeah.
only way a mindset can be changed is through Christ, man. And that's
Changing
that's
of the
the whole
minds, man.
changing of the mindset.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if we can't change these kids' mindsets, then I've been in this game, bro.
I
know what I
know.
mean? All we do is plant seeds.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes we get frustrated because we're not seeing the results that we want to see.
Yeah. Hey, man, yeah, y'all, listen real quick. I know it's getting hot, man. The mic is getting hot, y'all. Amen. At the end of the day, y'all, listen, this is the Lock and Loaded Show. I'm only one half of the duo. We got Miss Jayce over here.
Listening in intently.
Yes, always. And before we go into our last break, y'all, I want to keep this on your mind is, what is it going to take? I want you to ask yourself this question. What is it going to take for you to unify with your enemy? Hey, y'all, we're going to go into this last break, and when we come back, we're going to finish off with the one and only Steve Williams, my brother, the man. Take us out, Jayce.
I remember being so down bad, looking for love, trying to find out someone who would lift me up. Late nights getting drunk when I was leaving work. Called you for the first time, couldn't believe we were. Thought I found a safe place, thought I found a friend. Didn't know the story had a different end. I gave you my soul, put my heart in your hands, but you slipped right through like that hourglass. I could see your face a million miles away. Sometimes I wish that you stay. Every promise that you made, it faded with the night. You were searching for some peace, but you ran from the fire. Tried to love you through the storm, but you chose the rain. Let your best disappear. You're the girl who ran away. We was laughing in a car, riding late through the city. Showed me all of your scars. Said nobody showed pity. I held you when you cried, wiped them tears up off your face. Swear to God, deep in my heart, I could take it all away. But the silence grew louder every time we fought. All the love that we had ended up in some noise. You was dreaming of escape, I was dreaming of a home. But I learned that in the end, you was better off alone. could see your face a million miles away. Sometimes I wish that you would stay. Every promise that you made, it faded with the night. You were searching for some peace, but you ran from the fire.
Hey, y'all, we back. We are finishing out a great segment on this show tonight. Man, Steve Williams is our guest, our special guest, and we've been talking about his upcoming event called Unity on Division, which is actually happening October 4th at Nichols Park, and that's going to be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. But as we finish out, I want you to, Steve, to address the person or people who are hearing this for the first time and they really been looking for something to bring their family to. Talk to that person.
Oh yeah, it's definitely something you can bring your family to. It's just an event that we're gonna have all of our city officials there. We got first responders there. We got a foot washing ceremony. We're gonna have prayer. We're gonna be able to feed people free food.
Free food, y'all. Free food.
We got free food and everything. We got a gospel concert, and then we also have the Word of God itself. And then we got a big deal with the kids zone, man. The kids zone, like you said, we do cater to the kids pretty hard. We got a kids zone that's got the bounce houses and the games and the face painting and all that stuff that kids like to do, and giving away prizes. We'll be giving away lots of good free raffles. Man, last year we were so blessed we couldn't give away everything.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I worked a few of these events, and I seen some of the prizes. I put my name in. I did put my name in like once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. But no, go ahead.
But anyway, like I said, man, it's like we need to be able to say, look, we need to unify ourselves. And like I said, but the only way, the common denominator is Jesus Christ, man, because it's Jesus said, I have come to overcome the world, man. And God has come to overcome sin, right? Because he died on the cross for all of our sin. And so the point is, the only way that we're able to end the violence and end all the drama that's going on in our country right now is that our country and people itself has to take a self-examination check. You know what I mean? We need to look at ourselves in the mirror. And then after we see ourselves in the mirror, most of the time, we're not maybe gonna like what we see a lot of times, but sometimes we do. But the thing about it is, you got to ask yourself a question: what part are you taking in towards the hate? What part are you taking in towards the drama and the division that's going on right now? And if it is something that we're taking part in, then maybe we need to make a change. And when we make a change, the word calls it, we need to repent, bro.
Yeah.
Because when you repent, there's a change of mindset, first of all. And then secondly, that's going to turn from that mindset, okay? And then after we turn from that mindset, we're going to seek God. And so the point is a change of mindset, okay? And then from a change of mindset, we're going to turn away from sin, okay? And the things that we know that we might be doing that's not glorifying God. And then on top of that, we're going to seek God. And when we seek God, God will find us. You know what I'm saying? As a people, as a country, period.
Wow.
And it's just a matter of just allowing us to have the spirit of love, which God Jesus himself, down the cross for all our remission of our sins. But the thing about it is to say, especially, for unity and division, it's a message first and foremost to the people of God.
Come on.
Because the people of God, we're supposed to be the examples of what's going on. We're trying to get people in the church. But if people come in the church and they don't see any difference from the people in the church from outside where they are. So it's like, why should we come? So that's where we are as the church itself. the church itself has to be able to show that, look, we can follow the word of God. And that's kind of my new motto right now. It's kind of like for the people of God, it's like, can we all just follow
I like
the
that.
word of God?
Man, Steve,
Just let me do one
no,
more thing,
please,
if you don't
please,
mind.
go ahead.
Because the whole thing with unity is based upon Ephesians first chapter. Fourth chapter, first verse through 6. Let me read this. I therefore, prisoner of the Lord, beseech thee that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith y'all are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one of one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity. I'm going to say that the unity of the Spirit, a bond of peace. Therefore, there's one body, there's one Spirit, even as ye were called in one hope of your calling. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in all of you.
Wow.
So the point is that look, if we say who we say we are, then we need to make a choice to be able to allow the Spirit of God to have his way over our sinful nature that all of us deal with, man.
Hey, listen, y'all. Listen, first and foremost, if you can only, the hairs are standing up on my arms, my back, and all over right now. I'm being honest with you, Steve. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show,
man,
and everything, man. But it's just a matter of just surrendering, man.
Yeah.
And it's funny because before I got saved, I was 42 years old when I got saved.
You did all your dirt before
Man, I had 42 years of a lifestyle, brother. I was a nice person, don't get me wrong.
I heard you was, look, you got that Purcell High School shirt on, man. The 1980 class, what, 45-year class?
Man, I just left there last weekend. I was up there for my 45-year reunion, man. I'm old, bro.
I
passed in 1980, man, and we had a good time, and it was a good time to see all my old classmates.
I've only heard one thing about people out of Purcell.
What's that?
Pimps. Y'all some pimps, man.
Nah, man. Nah. Well, let me tell you something. We pride ourselves on being kind of rough and tough.
Yeah.
But man, so we got turned out when we went to East St. Louis and played them in basketball.
Hey, listen, I
East St. Louis Lincoln.
When I was young, I used to travel a lot. No, real talk. I used to love to watch college basketball because in high school basketball, I think high school basketball here in Missouri is one of the best in the country.
Right.
But when you said that, because I was one of those, I got dunked on by Mr. Anthony Peeler himself.
Of course, I used to babysit him.
You used to babysit him?
Yeah,
man. You mean he came down here to Central, man, and dunked from
exactly.
The man had about 12 dunks.
Matter of fact, I was at that game.
You was at that game?
Yeah, I felt sorry for Central about that, but I was pulling from my alma mater. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, it was funny because I was actually playing some street ball up there up in Kansas City. And he came up on the court, and I called myself out talking about I could steal the ball. Couldn't steal the ball from him. His brother had that left hand, came up, and
and he was a freshman. That was in '84, wasn't it?
Well, no, when he first came, to Central and played, and then when he was a senior, he came down and played. And you remember he's was a basketball tournament champion?
Yeah, that was in '88.
Ooh, man.
And they won it.
They won it, exactly. With that being said, hey, y'all, listen, we are finishing up this show. We could talk all day. That's my god brother right there. At the end of the day, y'all, listen, this is your brother from another mother, Brother Mays of the Lock and Loaded Show, one half of the dynamic duo. Miss Jayce over there, go ahead and say your piece.
Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Shout out Community Partnerships of the Ozarks for sponsoring us.
That part.
And it's been having great conversations here.
I'll tell you what, she's light on words, but tell you what, when she hit that music, it's on and popping. Hey, y'all, we heading out here just to remind you guys, we got a lot of great things going on in the community. And here's the thing, too. If you want your community event talked about or a shout out, you got something coming up, I want you to reach out to us on our Facebook page at Locked and Loaded, the Locked and Loaded Show. And also you can reach us at our email address if you got music that you want to put out there now. Hey, we ain't bringing the craziest music on, but we are bringing some great local artists. Bring it on to LOCK. Am I saying it right? Lock.
Well, for the email?
For our email, I always get it wrong. LOCK.
It's LOCK.
There you go.
N, the letter N.
Yes.
Loaded moose417@gmail.com.
Hey, what she said right there.
Yes.
I'm going to get it right one of these times. But at the end of the day, y'all, if y'all not doing anything, Saturday, October 4th, join us at Nichols Park. That's right, Nichols Park. Unity on the Vision event from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Hey, if you ain't doing anything, come out and join us. If you want more information, I know there's a Facebook page, Unity on the Vision,
we got
right?
a Facebook page for Unity on the Vision, and then we can contact Crosstown.
There you go.
1331 at gmail.com.
There you go.
And anybody wants to come and participate or volunteer or whatever, just contact us here within the week. Because we're going to get all of our stuff. We're real organized, so we're just trying to be able to get everybody by the end of the week. If you want to contact us or more information, just reach out, and we'll definitely let you be able to be a part or ever just enjoy the event itself. Because hey, just remember, it's what heaven's going to look like.
I love it. We're going to end on that one, y'all. Jayce, take us out to some good music. We'll see y'all. Hey, we'll see y'all real soon.
Cruising down roads where we used to vibe. Now it's just me and the ghost at night. Pain in my cup, gas in the whip, tryna outrun all the lies on your lips. I gave you love, you gave me gangs. Now I see you in every drop of the rain. You left, but the city still know my name. MOOSE29K still lit in the flame. Neon lights hit the chrome on my grill. Music loud just to drown what I feel. You ain't called, you ain't checked how I been, but I go like the signs on Michigan. Midnight city where the broken go. Tryna find peace in the afterglow. Windows down, but my guard up high. Can't trust no love, just trust the sky. Midnight city, I don't need no map. I just drive where the pain don't catch. If I crash, just know I tried to find myself in these streets tonight. In these streets tonight. Ain't no sleep in a place like this, where the dreams turn dead and the real get missed. I remember when your hand held mine. Now I'm holding on to nothing but time. Got voices in my head, not friends. Late night tests that I'll never send. You was set forever, then switched like lanes. Now I'm smoking through scars you left in my brain. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Another successful week, another successful guest, and now we come into the second side of the other side of the mountain, and we talking to the one and only
MOOSE29K.
Man, he just went in and said it for me. I like that, man. He taking control. What's going on, Moose?
Oh, not much, man. You know, just living the dream out here, just trying to make it. Man, it's been a struggle, you know, trying to take control of this music career that I got going, and, you know, trying to get music videos out and everything. But, you know, I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of it.
You know, Moose, and you already started it off with your aggressiveness. I like that. Ain't too many people just take the mic and just be like, hey, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? But Moose, we've been listening to some of your music in the session and in between our first guest. And one of the things that I learned about your music is very relatable. And we're already talking about, I mean, mending relationships, y'all. Bringing people back together, even though sometimes going apart, sometimes is best.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been checking some things out with you, man, and I've been asking myself, kind of goes back to the days when I was trying to write them love songs and stuff. And I was like, you know, you make up, you break up, that's all you do. That's actually a song. But I didn't write it. But the key thing is, and I want to touch on this because, you know, for those that have been listening in the previous hour and heard some of those songs coming out and they were talking, it was like somebody telling you something.
Right.
And you have this unique way. And for those that don't know, I mean, real talk, we got MOOSE29K in the house. I mean, local artist, Springfield born, the field born.
Yes, sir.
Done a little bit of traveling, but I'm gonna let him talk about that. Moose, you know what? Just do it. Who are you, man?
So I'm MOOSE29K. My real name is Caleb Garland. I was born and raised in Springfield, Missouri, but I have moved around a lot. I got some roots out in California on my dad's side, and on my mom's side, it's all Arkansas. And then even it stretches out up to Nebraska and so on and so forth. Family scattered all over the place for me, which I love because, you know, I can go visit whenever I want, you know, all that good stuff. But honestly, you know, I've learned to love Springfield as a whole, especially staying here for as long as I've been now. You know, I had kind of a rough upbringing as far as, you know, moving situations. You know, I stayed with my mom for a while, and she kind of got out of her head with substance abuse.
Okay.
And then I moved in with my dad. That didn't work out very well, just because he was struggling to keep up with bills and stuff like that. And so I moved in with my grandma here in Springfield. And, you know, I never thought it would go as good as it did, especially living with my grandma, because she never really, you know, took care of her own kids as it is. But, man, she really busted her behind and, you know, took care of me as best she could. And I'm very grateful for that. So, but yeah,
shout out to Grams.
Yeah, shout out to Grams.
That's what's up. You know, you said something and this made me think, you know, sometimes as parents, I'm just gonna be real. Sometimes we're better the second time around. You know, I'm at that age where I could be a grandfather if, you know, one of my kids decided to go ahead and pop out one, you know, or had one, or whatever the case may be. But you and I wanted you to talk about yourself and just kind of be real, because I appreciate your aggressiveness again, but your integrity. I mean, at the same time, it takes a lot to talk about those things, and, especially substance abuse.
100%.
You know, real talk. You one of the first things you said in your bio was you talked about pain. I want you to explain that and how that helps your music and your ability to write.
So when I talk about pain and when I put it in my songs, especially the ones like Ain't Just Anybody and stuff like that, which that's one of the newer ones, I've dealt with a lot of pain just with relationships in general, and not even, you know, partnership, you know, like girlfriends and stuff, you know, family, you know, and sibling stuff. And, you know, I feel like it all just kind of ties in together. But I feel like it really hits home with relationships because, you know, you never know what the other person is going through.
Great point. Great point.
And, you know, you can push and pull with this person all you want to, you know, and you can explain all your problems, lay them all out on the table, but it's up to them if they want to listen and try to work towards it or not.
Right.
And, you know, it took a long time for me to learn that I have no control over what somebody else does, and if somebody else wants to be with me.
Wow. Yeah, that goes into something we've been talking about in the previous weeks is, you know, forgiving yourself and, you know, putting yourself in a position to be forgiven. You know, because you can't move forward unless, especially with that baggage.
100%.
You know, do you feel like, because, you know, we gave the open door, we gave the invite, we told people, hey, if you got music, if you got that vibe, and you feel like you want to come on the show and really put it out there who you are, whether it's a special guest or a featured guest, artist, whatever, you answer the call.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, you actually, and that's real talk, y'all. First one, because, you know, as creators of this show, you know, Jayce and I, we had some ideas, and we started putting a list together, you know, and we had to put it to a point where we started saying, okay, it's got to be built around this, it's got to be built around that. You took the initiative, and I'm glad you did, because what it's doing, it actually has opened the door for us to give that spotlight to especially local artists. You know, Jayce was the first local artist that we put on, and obviously the inaugural show, we ain't had no choice. We had to. You know, it'd have been it'd have been crazy had we not. But one thing that I've learned from that is accepting it is what it is.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's something I live by.
You know, I was gonna say that because, man, you got music. I was listening to one of your songs in the break. I want you to kind of, you know, bring some light to it a little bit. And I want you to kind of chime in on this fact, because this was what got me. I was listening to a song in the break, and you know, inside. I this, my mind goes everywhere. Inside of what?
Inside of my own head, man.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I think what people has to understand is that, you know, we get inside ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is real talk. We get inside ourselves, and sometimes we boast too much. And then somebody break us down.
100%.
I was listening to a feature rapper about a week or two ago, and they was doing a cipher. And thought he was all there in the bag of chips. You know, it is what it is. It's, yeah, he got in that cipher, and boy, yeah, he realized after the first 2 bars, he's like, nah, it ain't me. It ain't me, right? No, but you do something in your music, and I want you to kind of set this up, because I need Jayce to play this on the break. Inside that mind. So talk about that creation right there.
You know, when I was living with my grandmother, you know, I always had a passion for music. You know, whether it was pop or country or you know, any one of those genres. But one thing that kind of stuck with me was the 2017, like, you know, SoundCloud era.
Yeah.
And I picked and pulled from certain artists, and I kind of just put it all together, and I kept making music in my bedroom. And it was that one song, Inside. And I started writing the lyrics to the beat. I made that beat.
Right. Okay. Claim it, man. You better claim it.
And I kept going over it, and I was like, what can I do for this? What can I do? And, you know, I got the idea from one of Trippie Redd's songs, Till the End of Time, because that guitar sound. And I just kept writing and writing. And then I figured out that chorus, feeling so sad on the inside. You know, it makes me feel like, you know, I'm on stage with, you know, like wind blowing through my hair. I know it's kind of like dramatic, but like, you know,
I'm looking, man, like, where's your hair at that, you know?
Look, I used to have real long hair.
You know, Jay, you know.
I said that.
Go ahead. Because Jayce put it on me like, oh, you just cut it off, you know? I'm like, what happened?
Nah, yeah, I was telling him, I was like, I don't know if this is why he called himself Moose, but he kind of looked like Moose from Step Up.
That's exactly what it is.
Are you serious?
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
From Step Up?
Yep.
Oh my God. That's one of my daughter's favorite movies is what it is. It's all good, because here's the thing. Real talk. You embody a persona. You know, I met you for the first time, you know, tonight walking the studio. I'm thinking this dude 6'2", 6'3". I was really thinking. I really was thinking that. I was like, yo, you know, if I'm gonna call myself MOOSE29K, I got to.
Right.
I got bulking rocked up, you know. I was like, oh. I got to the door. I was like, oh.
I walk in, I'm 5'5".
I was like, I was like, is your daddy with you? What's up? You know. No, just real talk. I got jokes. I know it's bad. It's the great.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good, man. I love some jokes.
It's no real talk. But here's the thing: your persona on your music makes you feel like you bigger than life. I mean, real talk.
100%.
Like you've been there, done that, and I like that.
I'd agree.
You know what I'm saying? You kind of got that vibe too. I was like, you bigger, and like you've overcome some stuff. I mean, kind of. Does this song Inside bring you to the point where you're talking about these internal feelings, and you said, okay, it's okay to talk about it. Does that make sense?
100%.
You know, talk about that, because we're going to go on a break. We're going to listen to this song, but talk about the fact of what that song did for you, and how does the fans receive it?
So, what I want to say about Inside, you know. So during that time too, as well, I was, you know, I made that song mainly about, you know, going through some rough times with my girlfriend at the time, and the mother of my child as well. She was pregnant, and, you know, I didn't know where else to put all that, you know, frustration, all of the, you know, sadness, like everything that, you know, me and her went through together. And as a whole, that was a super rocky relationship. You know, it was just on and off for 8 years, I think, 8, 9 years. And, you know, that song is really what that's about, you know, like, you know, holding all that stuff in and not being able to let it out, you know.
Right.
And, you know, a child is a huge change, you know.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna hold you to that right there. We're gonna take a break right now because I can tell it's about to get hot. It might even get a little teary eyed because it's a father right here in front of me. He's a parent. And I could he just smiles when you talk about his daughter. Hey, we coming back with that one. Hey, this y'all, listen, y'all. You are listening to the Lock and Loaded Show. I'm one half of the dynamic duo, and of course, Jayce.
Yeah.
All right. You know, she speaks little, but she packs a lot. Hey, we'll be back with the one and only MOOSE29K.
Chasing the money, I thought you knew that. Wish I would've said that. Got this money in my bag, I'm praying I won't come back. Lots of thoughts up in my head, but I'm better off dead. Feeling so sad on the inside. I think about that shit all the time, and I feel I could press rewind, but it turns out I can't keep mine. I gave you everything you needed, but you wanted more. All the times I sat outside your door. You gon' kick me out and you gon' push me down. Tell me that our love has changed, but I've changed. Promise I won't ever ever be the same. You gon' tell me you love me and then you change it up. Now I'm gon' be forever stuck in a love cycle, but we ain't never give it up. We won't give up for love. I've had enough. This stupid shit that we call love. I'm just chasing the money, I thought you knew that. Wish I would've said that. Got this money in my bag, I'm praying I won't come back. Lots of thoughts up in my head, but I'm better off dead. Feeling so sad on the inside. I think about that shit all the time, and I feel like I press rewind, but it turns out I can't keep mine. Circles and circles we go around inside my brain. I was thinking maybe that you would change, but nah, it's still the same. Toxic love, and that's the only thing that I know. Wasn't around when I was needing a hand to hold. Promise I'm gon' keep my word, that's the truth to be told. Saying that you love me, but I can see right through the cold. Baby girl, I really wanna let you know that I just hate falling in love with you over and over again. Yeah.
Hey, y'all, listen. If you was on before the break, you know it was about to get too hot. What I mean by that is we talking with the one and only MOOSE29K, kind of giving us that vibe, telling us about one of his projects that he had put out called Inside, and we jumped on the subject of how he was feeling when he found out he was a daddy, a father, a parent. And I know for a lot of young parents, because I was at that age, I was a young parent, and man, it is scary.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And
100%.
you got a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Man, come on now. Yeah.
I'm already knowing.
Chest already
knowing.
big.
Mm-hmm.
Probably already got one locked and cocked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real. I got 3 of them, trust me, and 3 daughters and a son. But what was that experience like? Because a lot of emotions, a lot of things come out when you have kids, especially your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of talk about that, because you're an artist, and I know you expressed yourself, but just kind of just give people a little taste of that.
So whenever I figured out that I had, you know, a child on the way, you know, it was one of those things where, you know, me and her mother had broke up,
Okay.
and I was trying so hard to get back with her.
Mm.
And, you know, one thing that she, you know, kind of led me into was, you know, it was a lot of manipulation played into,
Wow.
you know, everything.
Wow. Hey, he's preaching, y'all. Come on now, let's go.
And but I wanted to get back with her because, you know, that's my first love since high school. You
Okay,
know, since
okay.
my freshman year. So
Uh-oh.
I wasn't trying to give up.
Locking it down when he came into the high.
Mhm.
Okay, I get you. Go ahead.
So we ended up talking and, you know, we kind of tried, but I think it was more of like we were just trying to see if it would actually happen.
Right.
And once it did, man, I remember that exact night. I was sitting in the bathroom with her,
Mhm.
and she had just taken the pregnancy test, and she showed me the pregnancy test after, you know, we waited about 5 to 10 minutes, and it said it was positive. She showed me,
Wow.
and she just held her hand over her mouth. And when I looked at her, I didn't believe it. You know, like I was
yeah.
like, are you serious? Like, no
Right.
way. Like, I'm like, you're pregnant? I'm about to be a dad?
Wow.
Like
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I remember. Yeah.
And
Man, you put me back, man. You take me back some years.
man,
Come on.
whenever I saw that, like, I kind of lost it,
Right.
and I passed out, like I fainted. Like,
Are you serious?
oh, I'm so serious.
So your first reaction was, doop. You
Yep.
was at the ground.
Dropped on the ground.
Man, listen. I'm gonna be real. You know, since we've been real, so I went through that experience, and I wasn't sitting in the bathroom. I think I was just sitting there watching a football game. I mean, real talk. and like, came in and he's like, hey, I need you to see something. And I said, what you mean? She said, look at this stick. Look at it. What you mean stick? Oh no, is that what I think it is? You know, I'm thinking about you playing a joke on me. Y'all really want to know the first thing came out of my mouth? Real talk. Hey, is that a dollar store brand or is that Walgreens? Cause hold on, no, I'm being 100, right? Cause the boys and I used to say back in the day, you know, hey, if they kept coming to you with that stick, make sure it ain't the dollar store brand, cause the dollar store brand lied to you. Yeah, you thinking
You never know.
You thinking you having one, and next thing you know, psych.
Right.
No, hey,
right.
listen, hey, dollar store done got a lot different, y'all. Hey, listen, we need all the sponsorships we can get. So dollar store, forgive me, y'all good now.
Shout
y'all
out
good.
DG.
Shout out, yeah, Dollar G, DG. What's the other one? Dollar Tree, DT.
Dollar Tree. Yes,
all right,
sir.
it's all good, but just keeping it 100 because being a father, obviously, man, it's a scary moment.
100%.
And I know as an artist, you started writing about those things. Have you ventured out? Have you pushed that music out?
So, as far as music about, you know, that whole situation, the only one that I have released is Inside. But that doesn't mean I don't have quite a bit of music saved up in the vault about
that
all
part right
those
there.
problems.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I was actually in the studio with Jayce like a couple weeks back.
Come on now.
And
people need to know Jayce. Jayce is a producer.
Yes, I do
y'all.
work with Moose.
Hey, Jayce is a producer. Y'all gonna hear more about that a little later. All right, go for it.
I made a song called First Love.
Yeah.
And it's strictly about my whole relationship with the mother of my child.
Wow.
And, you know, all the stuff that happened with her and my daughter and everything. And I do see her. I do see my daughter every week.
That's good.
I get her every week.
That's good.
And, you know, but it's just a really rocky relationship, you know, just from being kids to being adults. You know, it's just a lot of changes that happen.
Can you speak on that? Like the changes you had to go through to like adjust to this new life that you live in?
You know, one of my biggest, you know, changes and regrets is not spending enough time while the mother of my child was pregnant. I didn't spend enough time with her.
Oh man, come
while
on,
she
man,
was
you talking.
pregnant. And I feel really, really, you know, remorseful, but I also know I have to give myself some grace because I was young.
Okay.
And she knew that, you know, I was out messing around and, you know, hanging out with my friends all the time, you know, and it was just in the back of my head to help her. And, you know, eventually I started realizing, you know, a lot of my friends started to turn their back on me and show me who they really were. You know, they got into substances and all sorts of stuff. And they tried to drag me into everything that they were doing.
Listen, you know, Moose, because this show, and again, the title of this show is all about mending relationships, and I think people need to understand that in order to mend something, it had to be pulled apart.
It had to be broken.
100%.
Come on, that part right
100%.
there, it had to be broken. Did you find then that those relationships were like, I may never ever have this again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because now you becoming a dad. You becoming a father. And obviously, I'll be real with you. I know people that knew exactly when I became Mr. Daddy-O. He's like, I can't hang with him no more.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do the same things with him anymore. And it's like, they feel like it's contagious. I mean,
100%.
But that's part of letting go, and that's part of deleting, and that's part of adding, to your embodiment of a person. And now you transition, and when you're doing this, obviously a lot of people, falling off the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
What did that do for your music?
It did a lot for my music, actually. It allowed me to focus in so much more. Like, I feel like everyone that was in my life at that point in time, besides the mother of my child and my daughter, was a distraction from what I really needed to do with myself. It allowed me to learn how to take responsibility, accountability for things, and become a man of my word. And it allowed me to also, another thing, amen, get closer to God and
Come on,
Jesus.
man. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
You talking my language, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, let me tell you something. You're young, obviously. Man, he look like a baby. I'm just being real. He got peach fuzz.
Moose, how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
See what I'm saying? He got peach fuzz on top of his lip. Still trying to grow.
Hey, this mustache be hitting.
Hey, I wouldn't know nothing about it. Nah. I can't remember the last time I had just a mustache. I might have been in like maybe 6th grade or something. I'm just playing.
6th grade?
Hey,
6th grade is a little wild.
No, real talk, man. I'm just being real. I found my first like peach fuzz on my hair and my lip right about that break going into junior high.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, junior high was exactly 7th and 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Now y'all doing 6th grade and all that
Right.
other stuff, right? No, real talk. But I remember, and it scared me. It really scared me.
Was you the only one?
Yeah, exactly, right? So my partners was looking at me like, hey, man, you got some real dirt on your lip, bro. What you been kissing the ground or something?
That's
Like,
crazy.
and I'm like, are you for real? And I started looking. I'm like, oh, man, and it wasn't soft hair. It was a coarse hair. It was like,
Oh, man.
man, wait a minute. But, I learned, my family, we kind of man out a little bit early,
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, that's a lot, man. You change. From what I understand, you cut the hair and you changed, and trying to let the peach fuzz grow in and all that. But being a daddy, wow. I want to shake your hand personally, man.
Hey,
honestly, 'cause
thank you.
at 22 years of age, that's not an easy thing to do. Or in your case, maybe what, 19? How old is your daughter?
She is about to turn 3.
You see what I'm saying? See right
So
there.
yeah, I was about 19. I
Wow,
think, yeah.
that's a transition.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all, listen, if y'all don't know, we talking to the one and only MOOSE29K. Been sharing about life, the struggles, and just being a family man at that. But his music talks to you through those struggles. And we
100%.
focused on one of his songs earlier called Inside. And,
Mm-hmm.
on the break, we were talking about this one song called Honest. I'm curious. I'm really curious because we just talked about really being honest with yourself. Is that kind of where that came from or what?
Yes, it is.
All right. You know what? Hey, listen. We're going to listen to it in the break. Jayce going to cue it up. And we're going to come back with some more MOOSE29K. And we're going to talk about them mending relationships.
I'm slowly killing myself. Trying so hard at the back of the show. It's just the same every day.
Yeah.
I'm writing these songs that will never get better. I've been told what's wrong and what's right. I don't have a romance.
Yo, Shaka, who you wanna be?
Everyone's dying, so I keep on trying to make a vow before they're gone. Please don't tell me. I don't care anyone, anything. I'm so sick of being
Yeah. You ain't gotta say much. I feel the weight you carry. He left you broken. Now your heart feels scary. I know trust ain't easy. I've been scarred too. We both got demons, but I won't run from you. I seen the tears you hide when you look away. Post like you happy, but I know that face. And I ain't here to judge. I just wanna stay. I've been through the silence. I know they say. I'll never use your past against you. I know how it feel when they pretend to say they love you, then go ghost on the low. That's why I'm moving slow. I just want you to know, yeah. Let me be honest, I see all your problems. I wanna be honest, I hope I can solve them. I don't got the answers, but I swear I'll try. Even if I fall, I'ma fall by your side. You don't gotta fake it, not with me, baby. You've been through hell and that pain drove you crazy. I see it in your eyes when you try to stay strong, but I know what it's like when the nights feel long. We could sit in silence, you ain't gotta speak. I hold space for you, even when you feel weak. And you use love deep, now you move with a walk. But I ain't here to break it, yeah, I'm here for it all. And you don't scare me with your mood swings. I done been loved wrong, I want true things. I just wanna build, not survive no more. I just want peace, not woe behind doors. Let me be honest, I see all your problems. I wanna be honest, I hope I can solve them. I don't got the answers, but I swear I'll try. Even if I fall, I'ma fall by your side. You don't gotta fake it, not with me, baby. You've been through hell and that pain drove you crazy. I see it in your eyes when you try to stay strong, but I know what it's like when the nights feel long. You don't gotta fake it, not with me, baby. You've been through hell and that pain drove you crazy. And that pain drove you crazy.
Oh my God, man. Honest. If I could be honest, we just listened to Honest by MOOSE29K, our special feature artist in the house. You know what, Jayce?
Yeah.
You know, I heard a birdie, and the birdie said, this is some real serious new music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it just dropped yesterday, right?
is that right?
It is.
Oh. Yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, y'all, if y'all don't already know,
September 12th.
come on now, plug that. You know, Honest. On all platforms or a specific platform?
All platforms.
All platforms.
All of them.
That means, listen, that still means you can go door to door and sell it if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Get
hard
them
copy.
CDs out.
Get the old CDs out. Hey, okay, so since we talking about Honest, you know, and I want to be honest. I have collected in the latter several weeks more songs from local artists, knowing that this platform was about to drop. And I will be honest with y'all, I did not know we had that much love and serious love of music.
It's crazy.
In this
There's a lot
city.
of talent out here.
Like, real talk. The field is filled with some serious artists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was sitting on the gospel, I was sitting on the R&B, I was sitting a little bit on the rap, but the rap and the hip hop is really nice. How has that influenced you growing up here, seeing the transition? I mean, person look at you and be like, all right, he's about to throw us some, what's that called? When they goth look a little bit.
Like emo?
Yeah. Because I'm thinking he might hit me with some little nerd goth look. Wait a minute, that'd be a crazy mix, man. You ought to do that. All right, nah, real talk. But it was indifferent. And it was unexpected. But I like it because it wasn't perfect.
100%.
Talk to that, man. Because I know you influence on a particular crowd.
So what I want to say is, you know, I've been heavily influenced actually by a lot of emo rappers, you know, and a lot of more of like the pain rappers, you know, like Rod Wave, Trippie Redd, Lil Papa.
Oh, you said one of my favorites,
I
Rod
love
Wave. Go
Rod.
ahead. Oh my goodness,
man. You know,
my son put me on Rod Wave, man. I'm just being real. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love Rod. Like, you know, shout out my ex. Honestly, she put me on to him too.
Right.
It's all love for her at the end of the day. But, anyways, yeah, that's like one of my biggest influences. You know, hearing him sing and, you know, just like the soulfulness of his music, just it hits your heart. You know, those are the songs that I cry to in the car. You know, like when I'm driving at night. You know, after I get off work or something, like, you know, that's the kind of image I want to portray.
Well, some girl sitting back right now listening to this interview, and the fact that he said I cry. And this,
Mhm.
she's sitting in the back going right now.
Hey,
Oh,
look.
yeah, I was messing with you. Go ahead.
No.
I just had to plug that one.
You know,
I'm sorry.
Rod Wave said, boys don't cry, but they
Right.
do.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
I'm a firm believer in, being able to show emotions as a man,
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I put my emotions in music, because I feel like
Mm.
on the outside, it's hard for me to, not the inside, but on the
Ah,
outside.
I like that. See, you need to flip that.
Uh-huh.
Right one for the outside. All right. That's
It's
what's
hard
up.
for me to put my emotions out there sometimes.
That's
so.
what's up. That's what's up. I noticed, I was talking to your bio and you talk about pain, you talk about lessons that you learn from different relationships,
Mm-hmm.
but you also talk about losses. I want you to talk to us about those losses because I felt like, especially when you mention your mom,
Mm,
I don't know why, and I ain't trying to predict,
mm-hmm.
but you did mention something about substance abuse. Is that a loss in regards to, and let me rephrase that.
No, you're good.
Did the substance abuse take away from your upbringing of as far as what a parent, your expectations of your parent?
It did
Mhm.
really,
Talk to us about that.
I always remember being a kid, and when I lived with my mom, things were good at first,
Mhm.
And as I started to get a little bit older, about third grade and so on, it got worse. And when I was about to transition to fourth grade, things started getting bad in the house. She started, taking painkillers.
Mm.
That's when it really started. And, I didn't know what was going on at the time. And then I also started,
Opioids, yeah.
I started smelling a weird smell around the house too.
Right.
And I'm still not sure what it was to this day, but I knew something was going on even as a kid.
Mm.
I have a really good intuition, which, I'm very thankful for.
There you go.
But, as I've continued to progress as, a human, I just started to pick up on things that she was doing and, getting into all these abusive relationships as well.
Right.
And, they were doing substances together. And eventually it got so bad to where, I didn't talk to her for like 4 years, 4 years. And, it completely took her away from me. Like,
Wow.
And my grandma wouldn't even let me talk to her, nothing. And I was sitting there wondering where's my mom?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, not even to mention, my dad wasn't even around that much.
Man.
So
Is it okay? Is it okay to ask this question? And has that relationship evolved? Has it mended?
it has.
Good.
It has,
Good.
100%.
Good.
My mom is actually my best friend.
Come on, man. Give me some. That's what's up. That's
That
what's
is my
up.
best friend.
Wow. Man, thank you for sharing that. I know that takes a lot. I mean, and I know we didn't try to prepare for that one.
Yeah.
I'm known for throwing a curve.
I've done a lot of healing.
There you go. Woo.
A lot.
See, somebody out here is listening to this right now, and I think they feel like, you know what? I'm too cool to heal. I got so much on me that I can't heal, but you really can heal.
That used to be me.
Really?
It did.
Wow.
When did that pivot though?
So, within this past year, I can't speak a whole ton on it, but I have had some legal issues.
Okay.
And, I did spend some time in jail and stuff like that. And that really made me turn myself around.
Wow.
Like, I don't think I've ever realized this much about myself and how 1 second things can be perfectly fine. And then you can turn your back around and everything changes and you're locked up for the rest of your life.
That part.
And that's a serious thing.
Wow, yo, Moose, you hit an issue, and this is. I'm glad we're talking about this because eventually, my goal is to always bring our guests back, and maybe even on a panel situation because I feel that you're talking to a significant fan base that the reason they really go out or the reason they connect, the reason they decide that this is what they want to go do is because somebody's talking for them. You understand?
Music is very influential.
That part, and I feel like you're doing that. Have you had that experience yet with a fan that just said thank you, and they just opened because you opened up things for them? I mean, just be real.
You know, I have a really, good friend from high school, and he's a huge fan of my music.
Okay.
His name is Christian,
Okay.
and he also makes his own amount of music, but
Okay.
he's also a huge fan of mine,
Thank
which
you.
I love that.
Yeah.
And, we talked not too long ago about how much, he relates to my music because of how deep it is. And how, even like not even just him, like my family is a huge, like they're my biggest supporters.
See,
They're
that's
huge
what's
fans.
up. That's support right there.
And it's just the amount of depth I put into my music and the amount of like real pain that I talk about.
Wow. Moose, what's the goal? When you think about your projects, because you got, I can sit up and talk about a lot that I've listened to and like that I said, you know what? I buy that. I'll put that in my playlist. What's the goal when it comes to this music industry?
The ultimate goal, it's not riches, it's not fame, it's not any of that. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The ultimate goal is to be able to touch as many hearts as possible before I, depart from this earth. And I really believe in that because I feel like that's in God's will for me.
Come on, man. I felt
Because
that.
He has blessed me with this beautiful voice.
I felt that.
And the ability to be able to speak.
Wow. Hey, now listen. Hey, the mic has got hot. The mic has got hotter, and I'm just telling y'all, MOOSE29K. If you're not trying to get to know the man behind the music, I don't think you're gonna really like the music. And the reason I say that is because what I have found out, just from not only listening but just from this conversation, I'm a fan.
I appreciate that.
I found out that I was just, I was listening. I was like, I don't know. Can I be a fan? Can I not? But I think here's the connection. Moose has talked to us, not only through his music, but in his experience, but he's talked to us from a standpoint of a man who is, and just anybody, really. But you talk to us from a standpoint of being in your most comfortable place. Because it sounded like to me you was in a place 3 years ago that only if by you being there, you could accept being a father. Ain't too many 19 and 18-year-old kids out there can accept being a parent. Let's be real.
100%.
I don't blame them. But then again, I ain't taking the accountability. I think they need to keep taking the accountability like you did.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a question, and I know time ain't always on our side, but here's a question I want you to really take time and think about, because somebody's listening right now who's going through same thing you went through, and they need that connection. They need that help. Do you find yourself going back to where it all started just to make sure that it's real, that everything that's happened to you is real?
I do, quite a bit. And I feel like I do that because it allows me to understand where I came from and to realize why I have to keep going forward.
Wow. That's motivation, y'all. Hey, listen, we about to get up out of here. Some of us got to go home. Some of us got to go here, there, whatever the case may be. But we ain't going to stay to you too much longer. Listen, we've been listening to the one and only MOOSE29K. And before I allow him to close out, because I know y'all want to know where and how to get that music. I want y'all to think about this, because this has been our focus the whole night. Mending relationships. We are in a world right now where relationships are on a big question mark. We don't know if we really have them. We don't even know if we can really create them. And a lot of it's because we're not stable.
Preach.
We're not in a foundation. We're not, as my old pastor used to say to me, are your feet planted? Because if they're not planted, you can't grow. I'm like, wow. There's so much truth to that.
Yeah, that's good.
There is.
I mean, real talk.
I love that.
I want y'all to think about what you've heard tonight. You know, our first guest, obviously, it went in deep. And without going backwards to go forward, think about what Moose just mentioned to you. It allowed him to grow, allowed him to be a man and be accountable and be responsible. Moose, if somebody is listening, they want to know how to get to music, how to get to your platform, let people know where can they find you.
I want to start by saying it's on all platforms, so you don't have to worry about going to just one platform. You can find it on whatever you use, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. It's always going to be MOOSE29 capital K, MOOSE29K. You can find me on Instagram at whoisMOOSE29K and Snapchat real MOOSE29K. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for inviting me on here.
Oh, for sure.
And
you know
I'm very thankful.
That, bro. Listen, hey, y'all, here's the thing. This is a Lock and Loaded show. And if we haven't said it already, you think that you can be a special guest, a feature artist, you got something to say, we opening the door. But we need for you to make sure it's real. Therefore, hit us up at Lock, L-O-C-K, N, Loaded, that's L-O-A-D-E-D, 417, y'all, at gmail.com.
Minus the y'all.
That part. All right, right there. Should I say it again, Jayce?
Yeah, one more time.
One more time?
Yeah.
Lock, L-O-C-K, N, L-O-A-D-E-D, 417.com. I need y'all to send what you got. Tell us who you are. We'll make that decision. Pray on it. Hey, you might be the next guest. You might be the next one. But just know that you heard it on the one and only Locked and Loaded show. Each and every Saturday, 8 a.m., Sunday, 8 p.m. It's all good in the hood, right? Jayce, you got something you want to say?
Thank you, Moose,
That's that
for
part.
coming out here.
Thank you.
And taking that step to put yourself on a platform, put yourself out there.
Yes.
I love being a part of it.
Hey, man, we love having you. Shouts out to anybody?
Man, shouts out my grandma.
There
I
you
love
go.
you.
All right, Grams.
And shout out my baby girl, Kalila, and shout out her mom.
All right, give her thanks.
Nice,
Give her thanks to the one that birthed it. I get you. Hey, shout out to the family, y'all. Hey, listen, we Locked and Loaded show. I'm one half to the dynamic duo.
Shout out Community Partnerships of the Ozarks for
go
sponsoring
home.
us.
You better go home. Make sure them checks is paid, written, or whatever the case.
Can I do one more shout out?
Man, go for it,
Shout
man.
out my girl, too. Kira,
Always.
I hope you listening.
Oh, snap.
Hold on. Check this out. He shouted out baby mama. And he shouted out his girl. Oh, I love it. Hey, y'all. Hey, listen.
We out.
It's the Locked and Loaded show. We out. We'll see you next week. Drop us something, Jayce.
Got you.
Cruising down roads where we used to vibe. Now it's just me and the ghost at night. Pain in my cup, gas in the whip. Tryna outrun all the lies on your lips. I gave you love, you gave me gangs. Now I see you in